most people in northern Arizona have to go to court for a federal case. Right now, they have to drive 2 to 5 hours down to the valley. So a brand new $70 million federal courthouse is being built right off of Route 66 here in Flagstaff to help with drive time and growing demand. Builders have been hard at work for months constructing a brand new 50,000 square foot federal courthouse.
The federal government made the decision that they wanted a Class A modern courtroom facility in Flagstaff. The main courtroom.
Mark Bauer is the executive vice president of Easterly Government Properties, the company in charge of the build. He says the federal government decided to build the facility to serve people in rural northern Arizona, including the reservations, because right now only a few federal cases are held in Flagstaff, but most people have to drive to Phoenix.
We're talking about potential jurors. We're talking about people that are relying on the federal court system for justice.
One of the things that makes this building unique is it has a level 3 security rating. That's one of the highest levels of rating for a federal government building. That means it has 3 separate entrances for judges, the public, and defendants.
We have perimeter fencing, we have exterior cameras, we have the U.S. Marshals actively protecting the interior of this property 24/7.
The interior will also feature Native American architecture and nods to Flagstaff.
We have great pride in what we're doing here and how it's going to fit into the community.
The courthouse will be open and could be taking cases as soon as March 2027. Reporting in Flagstaff, Mason Carroll for Arizona's Family.